Hi all, it's Kimani here. Welcome to my channel. And today I really want to discuss post-18 options that are unconventional. So we all know the standard route when it comes to finishing sixth form, moving on to the next stage of your life. It's always university, university, degree, university, university, degree, all that jazz. But what if you're not built for university? Or what if you're exploring your options, you're not sure if university is right for you, and you want to try applying for other programs or following different paths? Well, this video is for you because I'm going to discuss absolutely everything, all your options that you have post 18 so that you can make a well-rounded choice. So the first unconventional post 18 option that we will discuss is apprenticeships, and apprenticeships are a great way to work and study at the same time. So with apprenticeships, you are working an actual job. However, 20% of your time will be dedicated to studying towards a qualification or a degree completely funded by your company. This may be done either by having a day per week to be able to dedicate to your studies, or via block leave where you'll get a few weeks off to be able to really dedicate time to learning and your academics. Apprenticeships are great if you have a good idea of where you want to go in the future, you want to start your career early, and it also has the added benefit that you have no student debt and you're earning an actual salary. So you can start saving, you can start investing, you can start building that foundation that you need for your finances that will definitely benefit you in the future. I will say though, apprenticeships are a lot of work. Obviously you're studying and working at the same time, and they may not be best for people who don't really have an idea of what they want to do. The second option that we will discuss is traineeships, school leaver programs, level 4 apprenticeships. Essentially, these programs are very similar to apprenticeships in that you work and study typically at the same time. However, these programs usually last for a shorter amount of time. So whereas apprenticeships can last up to 6 to 7 years, these level 4 programs will usually last for about 1 or 2 years. Now, this is beneficial if you want to be able to start your career, get into a certain industry, but you're not yet committed to going straight into work. Apprenticeships can be quite a long and heavy time commitment. By doing a level 4 apprenticeship or a 1-year traineeship, you can you can dip your feet in the water for a bit, discover if this is truly what the career you want to go down, and if perhaps working at studying at the same time is for you. If it's not, you can always apply for university, or you can explore other options that we will discuss later in this video. Another thing I will note about traineeships, school leaver programs, level 4 apprenticeships is that they're great exit opportunities. So you may decide that yes, I want to continue working and I also want to pursue like more qualifications, maybe a degree. A lot of companies will offer higher level apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, even master level apprenticeships that they will offer to their workers and employees. So definitely don't think that just because you're doing a level 4 suddenly it stops there. You can progress further either at your company or through applying to another company's apprenticeships or programs, or even by going to university if you decide that again work isn't for you, you would rather do full-time education. Third option, we've got straight into work. Now, going straight into work is really for people who are perhaps either not interested in further education, or may be interested but don't want to be tied down to a certain company. Because for apprenticeships, traineeships, school leaver programs, in order to get that qualification, your studies are sort of tied down to that company and that job. So by leaving that job or that company, you will lose out on your training provider. You will have to fund your own qualification and such. Whereas if you go straight into work, you may decide that, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to study towards this anymore, and you can still remain in that job but just switch what you're learning. I think there's this huge misconception that if you go straight into work, you're automatically not unqualified, or you're not you're not very smart or anything. But going straight into work is a great way to get practical experience. You start off your career, you make good connections, and it also gives you a sense of freedom, so you can decide, perhaps maybe try a year out in one industry and then realize you don't like it and then switch to another industry. Or you may go into one industry, enjoy what you're doing, and then decide, okay, now I want to pursue a qualification, or even start a qualification, realize, okay, this is not really for me, let me start another qualification instead. Of course, all of these will be self-funded, because you're not on a traineeship, you're not on an apprenticeship, a school leaver program, etc. But yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. If you do go straight into work, it doesn't automatically mean that you're unqualified. It's just a different path that comes with its own ups and downs, and it gives you, and I will say, it gives you a lot more freedom to navigate what you truly want to do in the future. Gap years are also a great unconventional path for people who perhaps want to take a break from education, people who perhaps want to pursue different passions, pursue passion projects, maybe start their own business, Um, and it's also, or maybe perhaps want to travel. Gap years are a great opportunity to self-reflect and really focus on yourself and your own development. At this point, if we're counting like from year 1 to year 13, you've been in school for 13 years. I wouldn't put it above anyone to say, hey, I want to break from this, let me take a year off to really truly find myself, truly find what I want to do. A lot of students, and I think part of this is what schools encourage, but a lot of students feel rushed into choosing an option right after sixth form, like, oh, I have to be doing this, oh, I have to be doing that. And really, you don't have to. You could take a gap year. And even if you don't do anything significant in that gap year, that's another misconception. A lot of people think if you're going to take a gap year, you have to have these big plans of traveling across Asia or starting up your own business. And whilst those are all great pursuits, and I would encourage you to plan some of your gap year, it doesn't have to be like that. Sometimes you just need a break to self-reflect on yourself, to even rediscover your love for learning. A great thing to do during your gap year is to maybe indulge in some self-study. I feel like school can sort of suck the love out of education for a lot of people, and it may take a year to really study on your own, maybe study a language, study a discipline, study a craft even. Just study what you enjoy learning at a pace that works for you without the stress of exams and coursework. Just take the time to enjoy this year of your life, because let's face it, you're young. This is probably the last time in your life where you're still going to have the support of your parents if you're lucky enough to have great parents. You're still going to have the support of your parents whilst having the freedom to do what you like. So definitely I would encourage you, if you do want to take some time for self-reflection, or you're not quite sure about university, or you're not quite sure about apprenticeships, or whatever option you need to apply for, I would definitely recommend just taking that year off, discover yourself, learn about yourself, and really become more assured in your choices for the future. And now lastly, we're going to cover university. Now, I did just start off this video saying that university is the conventional path. That's what people really drill into your mind. You need to go to university, you need to get a degree. However, it is important to note that going to university, getting a degree, is a first-time experience for a lot of families, both in the UK and outside the UK. And I do think it's important to note that university can be an unconventional path for a lot of people, and university can give you a bunch of opportunities that are quite unique to its institution. I'd also like to note different programs, or different opportunities you can get from university that aren't as well discussed. So the standard discussion around university is a 3-year course. You go to university, you apply for a program. That program is typically 3 years. After these 3 years, you will give an undergraduate degree, and if you would like, you can move on to a master's, which is usually a year on top of that. That is not the only route you can go down. There are plenty of opportunities within university to get more work experience. You can do a placement year, which will elongate your program to 4 years. So essentially this means that usually in your 3rd year, you'll do a placement with a company where you'll actually work for that company during that time. And this is a great time to build connections, start your career, so that hopefully you can get into a graduate program post your undergraduate degree. There are also opportunities throughout the university timeline. There are spring weeks that usually last like 1 to 2 weeks, which is just like sort of like an introductory week to an industry, to a company, and the roles within that company that are really good to attend. And then there's also internships which you can do, and depending what type of internship, you can do them in your second year, third year, fourth year of university. And this is essentially usually a little longer than the spring weeks, maybe about like 1 to 3 months, where you really get to shadow people. You get to be in person in that role, learning on the job what it means to actually work at this company. Another option that you can do during university is a foundation year. Now, a lot of people are under this conception that foundation years are just for people who don't do good in their A levels, and that is absolutely not true. You can do a foundation year if you want to. Perhaps you studied, you chose your 3 A level subjects, and now you want to do something completely different for university. A foundation year might be great just to get your foot in, like your foot into the door, like get a good idea of what you're actually going to be studying before you move on to the actual degree program. Foundation years can also offer great exit opportunities from a foundation year. From a foundation year, you can, if you decide that university isn't for you, you can go straight into work, you can go into traineeship, apprenticeship, and these are great things to put in your CV. If you still want to continue down the university route, a lot of foundation years, like, it's not just like, oh, you do a foundation year in this subject, now you can only do a degree in this subject. A lot of university will have like a wide range of like degrees you can move on to from your foundation year. So like foundation years are a great way to explore the discipline and in general, and then based on that you can choose a degree that's more specialized to what you're particularly interested in. And it's all about just making sure that you don't regret your decisions. I think that's one of the most unfortunate things with this whole, like, you have to go to university, you have to get a degree, you need to go to university for 3 years and then immediately get a job, is that there are other options both inside and outside of university. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, because I don't want people to be rushing into decisions that they're going to regret. Especially with university, it costs a lot of money to go to university. And so, you really want to make sure, like, oh, this is the path for me. This is what I want. This is what I want to pursue. Another great option, post 18, would also to go to part-time university. So instead of just going to university within those 3-4 years to get your undergraduate degree, instead you can spread that education over the course of 6 years to complete an undergraduate degree. Now, this option has the added bonus that because you're going to part-time university, a lot of your time can be dedicated to your own interests, your own passion, your own pursuits. For example, you could start your career and get a job which you're really passionate about. You could go on a passion project, you could volunteer, you could travel during that time that you would have been dedicated to full-time studying. You've now got freed up to yourself, which you can use to your own benefit. Another thing I would also like to say is that, perhaps you want to study something which you're really, really interested in, but you don't particularly want a career in that discipline. So it might be great to like go to part-time university, study what you love, whilst also having a job on the side to start your genuine career. And I will say this also has the added bonus of, like, similar to like traineeships and apprenticeships, you get on the job experience, and you also get to study at the same time. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with this option as well. And it's something that perhaps you should consider if maybe you do want to go to university but you don't want to commit full time, and you have other like interests or hobbies or like pursuits or career aspirations that you'd like to pursue whilst going to university, and perhaps it would be too much for you to do it all at the same time. But yeah, that's all the unconventional paths post 18 that you can take. I really hope this video was useful to you guys, and I really hope that you gained a lot from this video. Please comment, subscribe, like the video, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.